Hello and welcome to another Gundam Arsenal Base video. This is the How to Play Arsenal Base series that I am making. The series is aimed at new players and especially visitors to Japan who maybe don't have a high confidence level in their Japanese ability and might want a little help jumping into this game. So hopefully this is going to make it a little bit easier for you. This is the second video. This is about building a deck. So I'm going to show you two websites, well, one main website, but the second site you will need if you want to just spend time designing decks, playing around with decks, learning what they do in a concise way, and give you ideas on maybe cards you need to build the kind of deck you want. So I will put all the links that you need down below, but I will also take you through it step by step. You will probably also want to use a translator app, a translation camera app like Google Translate or something, just to make things easier. But hopefully this will at least show you the easiest way to use these two sites to make sure you could just jump right in and start building your decks. So here we go. This is the first one. This is a Google Sheet. So you will need a Google account and create a have a Google Drive. I'll have a link to this sheet. This is the, I should say, deck building spreadsheet that someone made a long time ago. It's actually this person here, but they are no longer updating it. We now have a new member of the community who has taken over and has been updating and also improving the sheet. But this is the deck builder sheet. You'll want to first open it up, go to File, make a copy. Otherwise, you won't be able to edit it. You need to save a copy on your own Google Drive. So click Make a Copy. You could title it where you want, put where file or folder you want it to be. I'm just going to save it in my drive. Make a copy. Here we go. It will open up your own version of it that you can edit, which is what you want. You'll have to go here and allow access. The reason is it's pulling data from the internet to fill out all the images and the pictures of different cards. So you'll need to give it access to be able to see what the cards are. And here is the opening page. This tells you about the changelog. When there's an update over here, you would click that and they'll give you access to the new sheet. This sheet is updated pretty regularly every time new set comes out. As you can see, this is the March 28th version when the spring event was released. Here's the whole changelog, but what you are going to want is not this read me first tab. It's the second tab, the deck simulator. This is where you will go to build your deck, or design your deck is probably a better term. So you could see, play around with what combinations of mobile suits and pilots will give you the best deck that you could possibly design for whatever the image may be. I'm going to go up here and zoom in to 200% just to make it bigger. We'll have to scroll a little, but I think it'll be easier to see than squinting at the screen as I'm explaining. But as you could see, just really quick, you have all 5 slots here. You have mobile suit and pilot. The images do display. That's why you allow access. Down here, the first drop down is the mobile suit for the slot. So you could scroll down, choose the one you want, but there are a lot of mobile suits. And this video is going to help you figure out the easiest way of finding the correct pilot card, the correct mobile suit card you want, so you don't have to keep scrolling and just trial and error until you find it. Anyhow, let's just go down bit by bit of this deck simulator so you can see how it's useful. So here is the combined cost of all 5 units, the pilots and suits together. This is how much your whole deck costs together. So this one's a 32 cost, a very low cost deck. Usually you want to keep the deck somewhere around 40. If it's under 40, you should be able to start getting your units out very quickly and easily. If it's over 40, chances are that means you have really powerful units, but it's going to be a lot harder to get them on the field, and especially if they're destroyed, it's going to be harder to get them back. This is set in ground type. We'll come back to that later. You don't need. Let's just go down this first column and take a look at everything here. Here is your selected mobile suit, your selected pilot. This is the drop down to actually select it. Then we have the stats here. Top line is level, your mobile suit level, and your pilot level. I'll show you in a little bit how you can find your level if you're not sure, because when you select the correct level for your mobile suit, it's going to change the stats that you have here. So you will get an accurate display of exactly what your true stats are based on your level, as well as what ground type it is, what terrain type it is, because that will affect your stats as well. So again, going back down here, type, whether it's a mobile type, whether it's in this case a long range attacker or a short range attacker, this you don't really have to worry about. The important thing is the color coding. Again, here's our red annihilation units. If it's a blue pilot, this is going to be blue. If it's a green defender pilot, this is going to be green. But you can see at a glance, without even looking at the picture, what type of unit it is: annihilation, suppression, or defense. And this is the combined cost for this unit. So 3 for the mobile suit, 5 for the pilot. Combined, you need 8 cost to bring this onto the field. These are the stats, same as on the character cards: mobility, long range attack, close range attack, and health points. Mobile suit and pilot. So mobile suit at 110, pilot 190. Combined, you have a 300 point mobility rating for the suit. Long range attack 370, 270. Total is 640, 170 and 40. Close range attack is 210, and your health points 300 from mobile suit, 450 from pilot, gives you a 750, and you have a nice little bar graph showing you exactly at a glance, without thinking about the numbers, basically what those numbers represent. So as you can see, 210 is pretty darn low. 640, 750, you're in the mid-range here. So you could see just comparatively how strong your suits are at a glance. The next section here, this will come back to in a bit. Don't worry about the weapon type. This is long range with a force-based weapon, and the sub is a close range. That's not that important, like we talked about in the previous video. This is the terrain rating. This not necessarily important when you just start playing the game, but as you rank up, you're probably going to want to take into consideration what terrain you're playing in, so you don't get debuffed. So ground, space, desert, and underwater. The 4 ratings we talked about in the first video. It's S rank is for the ones that have a double buff when they're in that terrain. A rank is single buff. B rank is no buff, no debuff. And the C rank means they are weak. They get a single debuff in that terrain. So this particular suit has a single buff for both ground, space, and underwater, but if they are in the desert, they get a single debuff. So you probably don't want to send them to the desert, even though the debuff isn't that massive. The next set here, this is link ability. This is how you set up the extra buffs, I guess you could call it. Every mobile suit, so the top 2, has 2 link abilities. Every pilot also has 2 link abilities. Almost always the top ability will be the series that that suit and that pilot comes from. So if you're pairing a bunch of suits and pilots from the same series, you are almost guaranteed to get this link ability buff. This particular one, if you see, all of these are in white. They're all in white. That means in our deck, we do not have enough to complete the link. So Seed Destiny is the first link title. We need to have 3. That's what this number is. We need 3 cards in the deck that match Seed Destiny in order to get the buff. And this last column is the buff. For Seed Destiny, you will get a health point buff. So we have a Seed Destiny suit, a Seed Destiny pilot, but we don't have another Seed Destiny unit, so we don't get the health point buff. That's unfortunate. Then we have usually a titled ability, a link ability, that if you have, in this case, 4 for this link ability, don't worry if you can't read it, you will get this buff. In this case, the buff will be a mobility increase as well as a long range attack increase. But again, this is white, so we don't get it. This one over here, if you see the neighboring one, it's all in green. That means this one has all 4 link abilities, the 2 for the pilot and the 2 for the mobile suit, are completed. So it's getting a buff of HP for the mobile suit and a buff of HP for the pilot, as well as long range, close range buff for the suit and for the pilot, because these are the same link abilities here. Now, if you don't know how to read Japanese, or if you're not sure how to read it, even the translator app isn't going to help you that much, because you could see what this means in English, but that's not going to help you actually find the cards to complete the set, because they're not written in English. So this video is going to show you an easy way to find other cards with these link abilities if you want to try building your deck to maximize the buffs that you get. So that will be coming up in a moment. Going down the list a little bit more. So this is, now we're going down the abilities and the special skills that the characters and the mobile suits have. The first one is the mobile suit ability. This is the yellow ability, yellow attack that's on the back of the mobile suit card. This tells you the name of it and the cost, gauge cost, if any, for triggering this ability, and this will explain what the ability does. This would be where a translator app will help you, because there's just so many different abilities and they do so many different things. It would be impossible to explain in a single video. So if you're not sure, use a translator app and you could check this out. The second one down in the section is the pilot skill. So this is on the back of the pilot card. Same thing, name of the skill. The second box is how this activates. In this case, for this pilot, once your HP gets under 80%, then it will activate this skill ability. Some of them happen when you trigger the MS ability, they will turn on, such as the one over here. Some of them are activated immediately upon deploying the suit. It will tell you how to activate the skill right here under the name, and then under that is what that skill does. So this one, for 40 seconds, it increases your long range attack and your SP power. It says middle up, so that's like a double buff on it for 40 seconds. The next one, even though it doesn't have the letters here, would have been nicer if they put it there. But the next one, this is the SP attack. And you can see here, because it has an SP gauge cost. So this is your mobile suit's green attack. The green SP attack, you have to have this much in your SP gauge to trigger it. And this is what the attack does, the range, and also what its attack level is, or its power level is. And if your suit has a united SP attack, which is the blue attack, or a squad SP attack, which is the pink, that would be listed down below here. So you could check at a glance, again, looking at this spreadsheet, when you see exactly how much it costs, what its stats are, and the general level of them. Are they low? Are they medium? Are they high? The requirements to complete the links, the yellow MS ability and its cost, the pilot skill and how it's triggered, your SP attack, what it does, as well as United and Squad SP at the bottom for all 5 of your units. So it's a great way to see your entire team at a glance, know exactly what you want to do, what you want to build, where are you weak, where do you need a little more buff, switch pilots around, switch suits around, try to maximize what you get out of your team. So as I said, if you don't read Japanese, if you don't understand, it might be difficult for you to find the right cards to maximize your team, especially with the link abilities. So that's where the second site comes into play. This is just the main Gundam Arsenal Base website. So on this site, you will want to go to the card list over here on the right side. Click on card list, and here is a list of all the cards. Currently, it's showing you the Forsquad Season 1 cards, and you could go through and look at these, but at this drop down, you can choose any of the sets that are out there. But when you're building a deck, you want to have from a particular season, or there's a season that has the skills you want, like Unitribe has the United SP, Forsquad has the Squad SP. But if you're just building a deck and you're trying to pull from many sets, many different units, you're probably, for deck building purposes, want to set to the very top. This is going to then have the search go through the entire pool of Arsenal base cards. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot of cards. So we're going to want to narrow it down with keywords and options over here. So looking here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories of options. Honestly, the first one from the left and the third one from the left are probably the only two you will really need. The middle one, the second one from the left, also has its use, but I find that the first one and the third one are going to really be the main ones you use when you're deck building. You could explore these other ones later. I don't think they're that important, so I'm not going to cover it. But the first one, opening it, this is setting the parameters for the search. So first you could set whether you want to search for all mobile suits only, or pilots only, or everything. So it's your choice. Don't worry about this side. This side's also not that important. But going down, pilot type. If you're searching for pilots, do you want to look for an annihilation unit, the red one? Suppression, the blue, or defense, the green. You can narrow it down so it only shows you results from that category. Next is cost. Cost I don't really find that important unless you're being really, really picky about how expensive your deck is and you only want to have a certain cost amount. But otherwise, I just normally jump over this because the bottom one, this to me is one of the most important. It's the rarity type. When I'm building a deck, I don't want commons and I don't want rares. So I usually make sure I select U rare, P rare, and M rare. But if you also want to narrow down to specific kind of special rarity cards, like the special Arsenal base cards from the first season, or the Link stage cards from the second season, the Unit Tribe cards from the third season, or the current Forsquad cards from the fourth season, you have that. PR is to also search in promo cards, and serial number, you don't really need. There's only one out there right now, the Caliber, and there might be another one next month or in a month or so. But when you're trying to build a deck, chances are you're not going to want the common and rares, so you want to make sure these aren't selected because that's just going to waste your time. Secret also doesn't really apply when you're building a deck, but if you want to see what the secret cards are, that's a good way to narrow it down. So anyhow, this first category, mobile suit or pilot, if you want to choose only one or the other. So the pilot type, again, Annihilation red, Suppression blue, and Defense green. You can narrow it down. Cost, don't worry about unless you are. And rarity type, what kind of cards are you seeking to build your deck? So you can narrow it down from there. That's the first column. So you can reset it by clicking that. The third section, which I feel is also very important for your search, this lets you choose which series or films you want the cards to come from. So if you're going to build a 00 deck, you're going to click that, and then all of your searches are going to come from available 00 cards. If you're looking for Seed Destiny, you click that. If you want from multiple series, like I want cards from Destiny, or maybe Seed Freedom, you click as many as you want, and then search will limit itself to searching in those series. This might be another type where time where you want to use a translation app to make sure you know exactly which a series are if you can't read the different kanji and katakana that is used for the titles. But first one for the parameters, second one for the title. These are the two most important. The middle one can be important, but it's mainly for terrain. If you want cards that are S or A type in the specific terrain, it can help you narrow it down. Otherwise, I don't really find it that useful unless I'm specifically building a deck for a certain terrain. The last categories here, again, you can play around with as you like. I don't feel they are that useful. But here we go. So we have our card search. We want to find a card to use in our deck, but we don't know what it is, especially in Japanese. So if you go to your deck builder, where's the thing? Let's magnify again. So let's say that, okay, we have here we're not completed here. We want another Seed Destiny card. But we also want the card to maybe have this link ability, because we want to try to complete this link ability. And if I look over here, my third pilot, or my third MS, also has the exact same link ability. We only need one more. So maybe I want to add one more pilot to this unit, possibly, just for example, that's from Seed Destiny. So let's try to find another Seed Destiny pilot that has this link ability. So I'm just going to click on that and copy. On my computer, of course, Control C. I'm going to go to the card list, paste, take out those unnecessary spaces, and it's going to search for cards with this link ability when I click search. So I do that, and oh, look at that. There's 10 pages of cards featuring that link ability. That's a lot. So I could scroll through, I could go through and try to find the one I want, but I can narrow it down even more, because looking at my deck builder, I said I wanted a pilot. So I'll go back to the card list, go to the card type category, and choose pilot. I don't really care right now whether it's Annihilation Red, Suppression Blue, or Defense Green. So I'll leave it at that, but I don't want commons and rares, so I'm just going to do MPU, and I'll go A, LX, UT, FQ, and PR as well to broaden my search. But I also said I want it to be from Destiny. So I'm going to my third category, the title category, and I'll look for Gundam Seed Destiny and click that. So now I have my search pulling only from cards from Seed Destiny, and they are only going to be pilot cards, and they are all going to be within these rarity levels. So now that I have my keyword copy and pasted into here, I have my parameters set. I'll click search, and now it's only one page. Look at that. So it's Lunamari Hawk, and Ray. So if I go back to this, I'm already using Lunamaria here as a pilot. So she's also from Seed Destiny. So I wouldn't be able, I wouldn't be able to use this one because that's also from Seed Destiny and it's the same pilot. So it looks like Ray is my only choice to complete, in this example, that link ability. So I have Ray here. Wow, that's going crazy. Look at that. So I have Ray here, and his name, of course, everything in Japanese. That's still hard to find, but all I have to do is look with this crazy looking cursor I now have at the card number. LX04-094. So I go back to my deck builder, and I want to change this out. And you see the mobile suits have their number, the pilots have their number, as well as their name and rarity. So I'm going here, and I'm going to erase that. That's LX04-09. And you could see it's auto-completing, it's narrowing it down, isn't doing it. But to finish it it gives me only one choice. That Ray Zaburo from Seed Destiny. And I click that, give it a second to load, and there he is. And now look, we go back, having Ray here, fourth card of this link ability type, fourth card of this. So the suit is getting this boost from, or I should say the unit's getting the boost from the suit and the pilot. This one as well, getting a boost from the suit and the pilot. Now Seed Destiny link ability has 3. So that's getting an HP boost as well. So take a look at the stats here. I'm going to click undo. This is before I added Ray. 750 health. Now that I add Ray to it, so redo, jumps up to 907 health because of these 2 HP boosts on here. And that's how you would go about building your deck. Look for the kind of cards you want, the series you want, the link abilities that you're looking for. Also, of course, take into account the kind of special abilities, MS abilities that work well together or serve the role that you want for your suit. And you can use that card list on the Arsenal Base site. Copy paste any of the words you want to search for, set the parameters of what you want to find, do your search, find the card that you want to plug into the spreadsheet, and you could see immediately how it changes. Same with the mobility and the what's it called, the long range attack. If I undo the change to Ray, long range attack only has 640, mobility has 300, but when I add Ray to it, 363 to 774. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. Health was a massive jump. That's a big jump. So that's another way of, again, getting the most accurate, but seeing how you can make your deck stronger than the card looks on its own. Let me back out just a little bit here, get a little more space. Now, as you see, there's MS level and pilot level. So if you don't know what your levels are for the mobile suit or the pilot, here's how you find those out. So if you go back to the main Arsenal Base site, down at the bottom, just above the Twitter link, is the My page. This will take you to your account where all your stats are being kept. So click on that. It'll take you to the login. Just log in, click on log in, the red button, and it'll take you to your profile card. So you'll see your profile card, and you could check lots of stats, but for the sake of deck building, you want to go up at the top right. There is a red box with 3 white lines in it. I don't know if you could see, it might be cut off a bit on my recording equipment, but you click on that and you see a little Gundam head, MSPL. This will let you check the individual levels of all of your units. So clicking on here, for the mobile suits themselves, it's the series level. So all of the mobile suits for Kido Senshi Gundam are at level 6. But it's the individual pilots that have their own unique levels. So in this case, we're looking at Destiny. So for the sake of our example, so we want to scroll down until we find Destiny. Sometimes this scroll bar stops partway through, like you get to the bottom and you're nowhere near the end, but you can't scroll anymore. Just if that happens, click on whatever series is displayed at the very bottom, and that will open up the rest of them to go. It happens sometimes, so just don't worry about that. But here's Destiny. Click on Destiny. I see my Destiny units are level 18, so all of my Destiny suits will be 18. I could go back, and this is a Destiny suit. The mobile suit has C Destiny, so I know it is Destiny. So I will change this to 18. So 1-8, there we go. And look, the stats changed to reflect my level. If I click undo, you could see very easily. So it goes from 110 mobility, 370 long range, 170 close range, 300 health. Adjust that for my level. It's 318. So now here's my adjusted stats. But we still need to know Luna Maria. My Luna Maria is, scrolling down, Luna Maria is also level 18 for me. So I go back to my spreadsheet and I add an 8 there, change her to level 18, and let's watch how the stats change. There we go. Got another big jump there. So now we have an even more accurate representation of what this unit's skills are or statistics are going into the match compared to what's printed on the card. But that's not all. There is the terrain bonus. So for this unit, unfortunately, there's no S rank in that, so there's just single A buffs and 1 single debuff for letter C. So let's say we're fighting in, it doesn't matter if it's ground, space, or underwater, we could set that over here. Let me go back up to 200 just to make it easier. We could set that over here under the combined cost of our entire team. So let's say we are going to play in space. So we click the second one down because it goes ground, space, desert, water. So kind of easy. Ground is kind of greenish, so it's like green fields. Space is the dark one. Desert is kind of sandy, not really, kind of orangey, and water is blue, so it's kind of easy to figure that out. We're going to be fighting in the space level, so we click that. And now we see even more how that buff affects the unit by fighting in space. So reversing that, here it is on its own without any terrain buffs or debuffs applied. Here's what it looks like if we're fighting in space. Nice jump. But also here's what would look like if we got the debuff. So if we were under, oh sorry, I chose water. So if we were in the desert, we would get a bit of a debuff. So take a look at that. So from a buff of underwater to a debuff of in the desert. And if you just want to see the base stats on their own, here it is without the debuff. Here it is with the debuff. So it does go down for a little bit. And this will be highlighted to show which one you are checking out for the terrain type. And that, for the most part, is it. So you can use these combined sites, so this spreadsheet, to help you design and build the deck, see the cards you want. If you don't know which card you want, look at what abilities you're looking for. You can even search by ability name, like the MS ability, because some of them share the same ability. Pilot ability name, copy and paste that. Same with the SP attack or United SP attacks. You could search for those same way that we did with the link abilities. There's also other ways to tweak the criteria for doing your search. But take what you're looking for, go to the card list, throw it in the search, set your parameters. Do you want pilots? Do you want mobile suits? What series do you want to come from? Do you want specific terrain types? These other ones with weapons, abilities, and combat abilities, that's all a little too finicky for the purposes of this video. I don't think you need that for building your deck. But also, if you just want to go and look and see what cards are available, you have that there. And without even needing to know how to type in Japanese, just look at the number of the card that you want to add to your deck. Go into your spreadsheet. If it's a mobile suit, it's the top line. If it's a pilot, it's the bottom line. Type in the number, you'll find your card. Click on that, and it will display here. This sheet also has a bunch of other things, but I'm really terrible at spreadsheets, Google Sheets, Excel. I don't really understand. There's probably better ways of using this, and if you find it, please let me know. I would love to learn more. But also on the side, you could look at the different tactics cards and read what they do. But just in general, having your entire deck on one sheet here at a glance that you can look at and examine your entire deck without flipping through the cards back and forth and being able to translate it as a sheet, I think is very, very useful, and I hope will be very helpful for you in your future playing Gundam Arsenal Base. If I miss anything, I'll probably add to a later video, but I hope this will help get you started in designing the decks that you want to make and finding the cards you need to complete decks that you didn't even know were possible. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Have fun playing the game and good luck. See you next time.
バイバーイ